or I have some operating business. That kind of current. It gets some who know what's happening that side, and that gets me to the point of emphasizing that regular interaction and dialogue with your is important, because the tax man will be there, and the business also needs to exist if there is to be a value from the tax. When do I make my declarations? Now, we have declarations that may be weekly, may be monthly, may be quarterly, may be half-year, or end of year. Now, these vary, but particularly for this audience, allow me to focus on this, and maybe we can talk about the taxes if need be. We all taxes talked about those. This is tax on various goods and services, and it is paid or it's accounted for by the person who is making the payment. So we are going to make a scenario of who supplying stationery material university. It's you supplying material university stationery of 1 million shillings, or let's say 10 million shillings. So when you supply material university stationery of 10 million shillings, they will withhold 6%. That 6% is your tax paid you are inheritance. But it is material university that is going to account and will show us I withheld 600,000, okay, from Chamber of Commerce who supplied me stationery. And that money will be brought to URA on your behalf. It appears, therefore, as though you have paid your 600,000 already to the URA. And so, at the end of the year, if you have tax to pay of 1 million, you will only have to pay 400,000 because the other 600,000 was already paid on your behalf. Passed through with help from you. So, who accounts it is material university that shows us. But the actual payer is you, okay, of this tax, because the other person will account it. Whereas you're supposed to be 10 million, you did not get the what? The 10 million. You got 9.4. I want to imagine it is around that. The payers we are the same way. It is tax on the employee's payments, but it is your employer who accounts to URA, and it is considered paid to be paid by you, the employee, because it was a deduction. You have a salary of 1 million shillings. As an employee, you get a letter, dear Massive Michael, appointed your salary is 1 million shillings. But there is payers who earn on that money of 202,000. So you have paid that, and it is accounted for every 15. So it means that if we ended the month of February on 29, before 15th March ends, you expected as an employer to report that money to URA and account for it. Then we have individual income tax and income tax on individuals. These may be companies, they may be trusts, or is entities of that kind. This is tax on incomes or profits made from the business. It could be rental income or anything, any income generated of the kind. And it is accounted for by the person who has made that income, and it is paid by that particular person. There is, when this company is a non-individual, and this provisional tax, if it is to be provisional, where you estimate what you project to make. If you're a non-individual, this income tax is the first provisional return and payment is expected before the first 6 months of your year elapse. So, if we are running the financial year, then it means you don't have to go beyond 6 months before that financial year elapses. The financial year of the government is from July to June. and therefore in this case would have before 31st December. But you are allowed the window to always make amends, changes, going by the dynamics in your business to make sure that you project the correct image of your business expected income, such that you do not get into a window of projecting or under projecting. Now we have the turnover, the presumptive tax, which is tax on your turnover, your sales, your business. This is the next item there. And it is you, a resident taxpayer, you, the operator of the business. You may be an individual or a company. And this is paid, if you do not pay it within the first 6 months, then an assessment will be made to you. Okay, so you're given the first 6 months, which you make that declaration, and then you pay it to the Uganda Revenue Authority, and yours is sorted for the whole year. It means the machine here is not working very well. The other return that I look at here is the value-added tax return. This we may be very aware of it. For value-added tax, we refer to people who deal in turnover. If I make it a daily estimation, if you make sales in a day that tune up to 410,000, but going by the stipulation, if you make sales that hit 37.5 million in 3 months, when we are in this month of March, and when you look at Feb, Jan, and December, and when you total the sales you made, the sum of 37.5 million. That is for Feb, Jan, and December, 3 plus months. Then you are eligible for value-added tax. If you deal in items that are value-added tax chargeable. If again you check that March, April, May also tune, the first one is retrospective of 3 months, summing up to 37.5. The other may be prospective. We could be here and we're there sitting with the tender. You already have the LPO of about 37.5 million or more. And the supplies involve VAT supply. You are already eligible for value-added tax, and you are expected to do your registration with the URL. You just go to the URL website and make your amendment if you already have the TIN, and file the tax return with the URL. So that is the other return that I think we need to put focus on as business operators. You allow me, this machine it's not responding anymore. So one thing I needed to emphasize is that the timeline for filing these tax returns is usually the same timeline to pay the tax. So when we say you need to pay by 30th of June, it automatically follows that that's the time when you are expected to file, to make your payments to the bank. It could be a bank, you could use mobile money or the online payment platforms that are provided. But that is the timeline. One thing I also needed to make mention of, that after I have talked about the tax obligations that you need to attend to, there are certain cautions that are available for you, both in the domestic taxes and in the customs regime. There are cautions that have been made for you as an operator of business, as a person dealing into any enterprise in the country. We need to check out the incentives that are available, incentives that have been made specifically. If you look at depreciable assets, we need to look at the treatment of expenses that we deal in, losses encountered in the business, training and scientific expenditure, and many others that we need to really appreciate if we are to reduce the tax burden, grow our businesses, employ more people, and where we have not paid income tax, we collect it from our employees or through value-added taxes, because that is the intent of the regime. There are also incentives that can come to you for particular sectors. We may look at certain sectors. If you're in hotel and tourism, if you're in ICT, if you are in telecommunication, if you are into education, health, those particular sectors have been gazetted, and there are particular incentives that are even there for you, people who deal into the export. There are certain incentives that have been put in for you to a tune of applying for tax holidays that can stretch for 10 years. And it can be to your benefit. But of course, there are requirements that qualify you for this that we need to appraise ourselves. But that notwithstanding, we need to know that this exists. And it has been designed in the same tax law that collects from us. And it's the same law that is giving back to us. And I would encourage you to take advantage of them, because their intent is to uplift your enterprise such that in the next year you have the capacity maybe to pay more tax. We have other arrangements that are available that we are putting in place to assist taxpayers to comply with their obligations. I will point at number one, alternative dispute resolution. We have had some of the players in the market, and they have been in court with the URA for long. And there is a window for settlement of some of the misunderstandings or the disputes with the URA out of court. Let us apply for this facility and let's use it, because many people are using it and it is reducing the stress that ideally would be existing between the taxpayer and the tax collector. So the alternative dispute resolution mechanism is available. Go to the Uganda Revenue Authority, URA.go.ug. When you click on the domestic taxes button, you will see the procedures on how to go around the alternative dispute resolution mechanism. If we are here and maybe there is what hasn't been done in terms of the obligations that are entered on, there is a voluntary disclosure facility. The Tax Procedures Code, section 66(1)(a), has given the commissioner the authority to engage with taxpayers and resolve certain are they misdemeanors? I don't know. I don't want to use the wrong word. But any non-compliance that you could have done, and you tell the commissioner that I did not pay rental tax for this particular period, yet I ought to have paid. Okay? You come and we fill this form and we agree that yes, you did not pay, and we sign that the principal will be paid and all the other matters we will look aside, and we start a new page. The commissioner said here tax grows even when you don't water it. And ideally, that is how things made. But you see, a tax regime that doesn't give people a way out or a way to make things right, and it is for the purity, can also be prohibitive if you're not very, very keen. So these facilities have been laid in there to the advantage of our people. We have the electronic fiscal receipting and invoicing solution. I think about the electronic fiscal receipting and invoicing solution. With permission, I will invite my colleague perhaps to talk about it and the digital tracking solution. But these facilities have been put in place to assist us to address some of the gaps that exist in our operating environment. I will also take you to some of the interventions that we have done to assist our people. We have implemented, if you have traveled across borders, we have set up one-stop border process where we have multiple government agencies in one place. Go to Busia, go to Malaba, go to Gatuna, go to Irama Hills, go to Lego. We are opening up Swan River very, very soon to make sure that the experience and the interaction with regulators that our importers and exporters have, it's a sequence and it's a one instance interaction. You engage with all government agencies in one place to save the time of the businessman as they take their merchandise to their destination, to the market. So this one-stop border process that the government has put up is also another part.
Smart 24, driving business. Smart 24, driving business. Smart 24, driving business.
My bossy, can I borrow fuel? Biggie money, can I borrow renty? Manager, give me some caloni. Okay, what about 5K?
When you need a loan, you've got MTN Momo. Wesotinge. Use the Momo app or dial *165*5# for all quick loans. Choose from the different loan options from our partners and get one that works for you. Together, we're unstoppable.
Luxury redefined at Seasan Hotel as you indulge in the splendor of elegant living fit for the royalty that you are. Step into comfort, pampering and blissful customer-centric service as you select from our range of comfy, exquisite living quarters furnished to meet with your royal preference. Surrounded by scenic beauty, Our tropical setting allows you to escape the glamorous ordeal of city life. Our ambient green gardens will guide you to a place of revitalizing rest. The 3-star restaurant caters to your palate, serving your choice menu ranging from exotic cuisines to local delicacies. Our chefs will serve you full course meals for a truly out-of-this-world culinary experience. Our fully stocked bar to whet your throat, from renowned global brand whisks, brandies, gins, beers and wines to our locally celebrated beverages, you will not lack for any brewage. It's an all-new experience in the East at CSUN Hotel. So visit today at plot 15 to 19 Spire Road, Ginger, or contact us on +256 751 719 960 and +256 785 354 614 for reservations. CSUN Hotels, luxury redefined.
Smart 24, driving business.
2020, and there were reasons why we felt we needed to, because at that time we were in COVID and we relied more on the inputs and they were not coming through because of what you all know. So under the domestic revenue mobilization strategy, we needed to think smart to see how the nation would move while getting taxes. So that's why we rolled out the domestic revenue, the IFRIS, under the domestic revenue mobilization strategy. It is a smart application that will go in one store inventory online on the system, issue that e-receipts, issue that e-invoice at your comfort. And at the end of the day, we're trying to mitigate the leakages in the tax type of VAT. So that's why it takes the tax type, which is meant to help us monitor, manage VAT collections. So when we rolled it out the 1st of July 2020, we took 6 months in training, teaching, but intentional with those VAT leaders. Because when you look in the tax, that's the tax code, 2014, section 73.8, it is clear that the minister gazetted VAT registered clients to use the system mandatorily. The rest could or could not. So on the 1st of January 2021, we went live with IFRIS, implying that all our returns were triggered to that. All our returns were triggered to that. So when we rolled it out, we had different channels that we put in place. One, we put the e-invoicing under the web portal. Two, for those who may not be, manage this in the web portal, we introduced electronic fiscal devices. These are the devices that look like a point-of-sale machine, mostly for manufacturers who do sales. And we accredited a vendor called Radproxect to help in the sales, the maintenance, and everything pertaining electronic fiscal device. A device goes for 1.1 million, and at the end of the day, when you file your income tax return, which is an allowable expense when you're preparing your books of returns. Then we moved on and rolled out the system-to-system integration. We went ahead to accredit software integrators. When you go to our portal page, there is an improvement in the appearance of the portal page. Look for where domestic taxes is. As you put the cursor there, you will check out a word called IFRIS. Under IFRIS, you will just click on it. It has a full menu where you can get the list of software integrators. The choice is yours to choose who you want to work with. But at the end of the day, we signed an MOU with each of those integrators to see how best they can do what we expect of them. And apparently now, if it's shooting into VAT, and we have a web-based form. We did away with that Excel return in November last year. Why did we do that? It's very simple. It's a preferred return. Because when we rolled out IFRS, our promise is to avail a preferred return. We are trying to reduce the cost of doing business. Whoever was feeling for you that VAT return, we are now doing it. If all the operations or activities are on IFRS, it's very simple. You sell, somebody this is purchase, you purchase is one sell. So when one initiates, you populate your return. We populate the return in the course of the month. In case you handle any activities under customs on a scooter, we still migrate the data onto your return. So by the end of the day, the end of the month, the last date of the month is the last day you can view this return. Then after the month expires, in the first day of the following month, you are free to submit. Your work is to log on, confirm the activities, the transactions, then submit. With this, we'll be reducing the penalties late filing for VAT. If it is very simple, it's intentional, those letters are intentional. It's for electronic, because we use an electronic calculator. If it's physical, the transaction you're handling has a tax component. R is receipting, and this can only be done by banks and not VAT registered. Whenever you see an empty receipt, it implies the no 18% component. I is for invoicing only those who are VAT registered. That's where you find 16% VAT. It is a solution that came to mitigate the challenges we are seeing. But still under that, we have the TDC that we are about to roll out. That's it. It is meant to address, make sure that there is a trap and trade mechanism from the the manufacturer into the market. When we had brought it out, we started with 6 items that is bottled water, soda, beer, wines, spirits, and cigarettes. Then in 2021, we added 2 more, and that is sugar and cement. In 2022, we added 5 more. That is non-alcoholic drinks other than the ones we had there, alcoholic drinks other than the ones we had there. Then we brought in the kombuchas in the market. Then we have cooking oil, we have fermented beverages. So all in all, we have about 13 items that are meant to be stocked. And some can be encoded, like the bottle you have. When you look on the lid, you will see some codes there. Those are digital tax stamps. For those who have automated production lines, those who don't have complete automated production lines, we have the paper stamps. You buy the stamp from a vendor called SIPA, you make an order online, you upload your product online so that they can know which kind of stamp they're going to make for you, and ensure that you stamp it with the right stamp. There are penalties enshrined in Section 19B of the Tax Procedures Code in case you interchange the stamps. Every stamp has its cost. And at the end of the day, when you're filing your income tax return, this is an expense that we do allow. Thank you very much. I've given you 5 minutes. I think another round of applause. Thank you so much, Yara. Love the submission. It was simple, it was straight to the point, and I think we gained a lot out of this. So, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to have a panel discussion, and we're going to have a number of panelists going through some nitty-gritties and firing back on questions you are.
But through Madam President, I have some questions and ask you already. Just 5 of them before going to the panel discussion. Because this one is affecting me directly as a manufacturer. And I might be harsher than my moderator. So allow me, through the protection of my president, to ask only 5 questions, after which we shall go straight into the moderation, and then from there we shall have a more broader picture. So, number 1, our tax regimes. We have a basic new tax regime. Even when we benchmark of other countries, people have 2, 3 years, 5 years. But what every year we are supposed to adopt, is this really sustainable? There may be reason for that, but this is one of my questions. Why do we have to have a tax regime basically every year? It's not sustainable, and even what you're doing here, it becomes more cumbersome to teach every year. Yet if we plan out 2 to 5 years, it means that is more sustainable, because cost of business as a manufacturer affects us very much. I think I'm preaching the point here. Number 2, these audits of every quarter. Is it really realistic? As we have been lucky enough to travel, people have audits every year or every half a year. Why do we have audits every quarter? It's a bit unrealistic. Again, it goes back to the word sustainability and cost of business. Actually, I had a conversation with you already, remember, 2 weeks ago, and we had to just say, we get this information from finance, but just implement it. We do not say policy, but we get a situation to the gentleman. Number 3. I manufacture, or our company manufactures electric switchgear transformers. We're lucky enough to be the oldest manufacturer of transformers in the country as Ugandans. We have a lot of foreigners, but as Ugandans we're the first. And those who want to clap, we can clap because we're something for moving. But every time we import components which feed into our transformers, URA does not have database, for instance. We do know that in the law that when we import raw materials, they shouldn't be taxed. But because of the lack of, specificity at customs, we are given tax for raw materials. Actually, we are going ahead to say that we are working with UNBS to ensure that we have more competent specialists at UNBS to understand what we're doing. Do we have a department like that in URA? If you already don't understand what the raw material is, or what a part for transport is, do we have steps been taken? Because what we're doing with UNBS is a way that they approach us as people in the industry. We have a technical committee. We do not get paid, but we're there to provide information. Is it something URA has done or planning to do? Because if we are to grow, we can't work as an island. So maybe there may be answers for this. I do not know, but URA is going to answer. And Madam President, my last question is this. What steps is URA taking to increase the tax base? What am I saying? It's like a car. If you have one cow, you know, for breakfast, lunch, and supper, this cow can survive. But if you have 10, 20, it means the pressure is spread across. So this may have been heated upon by just asking the members of URA in the House. Is there something being done to ensure that we increase the tax base, to ensure that we, as people who are paying taxes, who are very compliant, can know that we are not going to take the burden of everyone, but there is hope for the future. So, Madam President, I would like this humble 4 questions to be tackled upon and go straight into the panel, because the panel is going to bring you so many more questions, but I thought I would set the pace for other questions to be asked. Okay. So, humbly, I asked questions, but I don't hear receiving the harsh answers. So, I am going to ask the moderator of the oncoming panelists to stand in my shoes, to both receive the answers to these questions, but also guide us to the next session. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, our moderator is our legal advisor at UNCCI. She also lucky enough that she's the immediate past president of the Uganda Law Society. So ladies and gentlemen, you see, I think that the class can be louder than that. Ladies and gentlemen, what I want a lawyer to be here is that for legal protection. But the school is still low, ladies and gentlemen. The moderator is a board member at the East African Business Council. I think we can clap for that. And last but not least, she's a managing partner at Zambia and Navasa and Company Advocates. Okay? I think we can clap for this. So, all the harsh comments must be directed to me, but she's going to moderate them. So, with those beginning questions, let's jump into that, and then she will take us forward into the panels. You can also clap for me as I'm going, but I think I'll get the
Smart 24, driving business.
Luxury redefined at CSAN Hotel as you indulge in the splendor of elegant living fit for the royalty that you are. Step into comfort, pampering and blissful customer-centric service as you select from our range of comfy, exquisite living quarters furnished to meet with your royal preference. Surrounded by scenic beauty, our tropical setting allows you to escape the glamorous ordeal of city life. Our ambient green gardens will guide you to a place of revitalizing rest. The 3-star restaurant caters to your palate, serving your choice menu ranging from exotic cuisines to local delicacies. Our chefs will serve you full-course meals for a truly out-of-this-world culinary experience. Our fully stocked bar to whet your throat, from renowned global brand whisks, brandies, gins, beers and wines to our locally celebrated beverages, you will not lack for any brewage. It's an all-new experience in the East at CSAN Hotel, so visit today at Plot 15 to 19 Spire Road, Ginger, or contact us on +256 751 719 960 and +256 785 354 614 for reservations. CSAN Hotels, luxury redefined.
When it comes to classwork, Jordan is magic. Jordan shines. Jordan makes his peers better. Jordan is a true leader. White Star Magic family. Be a leader. Be magic.
Let's live it up and party and have cracking good fun. When it comes to edutainment, DSTV's #1.
Is everybody ready to go, go, go?
We've got the zaniest characters to transport you away. The party is cracking, so why not come play? You're gonna love it. We've got so many channels and a ton of new shows, like Disney and Nickelodeon, where anything goes. So live it up with DSTV. We bring the fun. You know we're #1.
Smart 24, driving business.
No one likes a taxi, isn't it? They have a time to knock. So surely we are on it, we are aware of this. But the other thing which I would also clarify is the fact that as we automate, we try to do a lot of communication online. And then again, automation has created a lot of transparency. If you recall what Hafsa was presenting on e-fees. Now, as you print that electronic invoice, on real-time URL will see you've made this sale to taxpayer B or to customer B. Now, because we have visibility of that, when you file a return, we quickly come back to you and say, no, we are actually expecting 100 million, but you only filed 50. Now, sometimes those small queries that come monthly goes through to the audits. And like I told you, if every time you are explaining, taxpayers get irritated and we are really aware of that. But on audits, we want to make sure we don't come all the time to your doorstep. We want to give you time to concentrate on your business and make profits so that you are able to pay tax. So on the steps to increase the tax base, we are here on it. We are trying to go to everywhere. These days, there is a lot of money up country. If you go up country now, people no longer walk, they want to use a border. They even take blue band. They have better houses than ours here in Kampala. There are even arcades. I was surprised in Arua there is an arcade. So there is money up country. So we are following that money up country. We are following. We have those farmers who are not being taxed and they invest in real estate, they must pay tax. So we are in that. I don't know, there was something on customs. Let me invite my colleague. Thank you.
Please give it up for Madam Commissioner. Commissioner Abel. Please give him a big hand clap. You will also throw some light. Madam Commissioner, you talked about the fact that you're reducing the quarterly audits. Is there a timeline? When can we expect this to end? As you refine your...
Some technical...
Thank you. Abel Kakunyele is my name, Commissioner Customs. I think I'll address myself to the question on importation of raw materials for manufacturers. Madam President, we have two options. We have a common external tariff. And this common external tariff has all items that have ever been imported, and they have codes. What has been happening with our manufacturers is that they want to bring these parts different. So when you bring a transformer separate, you bring a panel separate, a wire separate, you bring this separate, you bring a nut separate. The system recognizes them as separate items. So it will classify you like that. Some pay, others don't pay. But where we find you are lying, you cannot, for example, have a line without a pan. Have a line with the cable, don't have a line with this. You bring us your drawings and show us how your plant is going to be structured. And that's why he said you engage us. And then we say, wow, this is how it looks like. Without this, it cannot produce anything. Then we treat it differently in terms of classification. Because we want to bring one part in January, you bring another one in June, you bring another one in December or next year. You say, this is meant for this, this is meant for... You confuse the taxman. You're confusing, because there are those who are in Chile and bringing the same and selling to other Ugandans. So for you to be a manufacturer, give us those drawings, give us what is required, it will be treated in a different way. But there is also a component of duty remission. Even those which pay,
And even if you squeeze and do this and you have to pay according to the nomenclature, you apply for duty remission. Is that provision under the customs law? So we remit the payment of duty for you as the manufacturer to 0%. Because that is your input, that is your raw material, and it's at 0%. But if there is a specific case that you are stuck with, director, please, I am there for you. I will address it the way it comes. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Mr. Commissioner. My director, are you satisfied with this question? Okay, Komsi Komsa. Thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, today we are at Uganda National Chamber of Commerce and Industry, and we've had breakfast. I want to invite you as we go into the panel, just slip out outside there. There's a special Ugandan branch, Katoko. So if you feel the breakfast has already been digested, you're very welcome. Yes? Commissioner, you want to say something? Yes.
Thank you. There's something you raised which we are trying to dodge a bit, but I think we can talk about it. The policy issue, the number one. Why we are not serious on answering it? Because we are not policy people. We implement policy. We implement policy, but we advise on policy. And that's why when we advise and our advice is not taken, it's also something advocacy, policy, and structural representation. So when you advise and maybe sometimes your advice is not taken, you implement it as it comes. Because the policy people know what they are looking at and what parameters they looked at. Like there is something we are not comfortable with, the current policy on textiles and garments. It's a bit disturbing the traders. I know some of you are manufacturers, but also traders. They feel paying in kilo. It's not fair to raise taxes for textiles and fabrics. And I think why it is a bit unfair to them, they say in Kenya it is at 35%. In Tanzania it is 35%. Rwanda, and we are here, for us we are putting on to specific to pay $3.5 per kilo. Or $3 per kilo. So in a way, it's not fair to us as Uganda. Yes, we are trying to protect some of you manufacturers who are producing some of these, but we've advised the Ministry of Finance on that issue, and they have said, okay, out of the 522 textiles and garments that are imported in Uganda, how many are our manufacturers producing? We went back. We made this manufacturer. We found they are producing about 47 tariff lines. Though not in big quantities, but at least they are producing out of 500. So the ministry reversed that and said, okay, collect specific rate on only those 47. So when we started collecting on the 47, those who bring in t-shirts came and said, but why have you left us there? But we found that we have factories, we produce t-shirts. So there are the most people who are now complaining after the other one. But if there are others, maybe we'll get to know and we'll continue to advise policy. The ministry is already listening, especially when it impacts revenue collection and it affects us as we do collection. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner. I will bring a case to your table of curtains. Yeah, because you have some clients who are suffering with curtains. They fall in that category. Ladies and gentlemen, please allow me to invite my panelists as you partake of the brunch. The way you are having the breakfast, quietly, just stick it and come here. No one will judge you. To represent the traders, as Chamber of Commerce, we have a very varied membership, so we just picked out a few people to represent you, but later on we'll have a Q&A, so just pen down your questions if you have any. The traders are represented by Mr. Barnabas Kitha, who works in the technology sector. Is he around? Yes, please give him a big hand clap as he takes his seat. We've organized the seat there for you. We also have since Barnabas represents the technology sector, our technology sector needs about 2 minutes to make sure the panel is well visualized. So please feel free to walk out now and get your card to go. The agribusiness is represented by our director, Madame Santa Joyce Lake, who has also served as the Vice President, Uganda Women Entrepreneurs Association. Please give a big hand clap. All the way from where I also found there. We have for services, we have a consultant, Mr. Trevor Brown. I think you know him. Mr. Brown Trevor. Oh, sorry, I couldn't see you because of the lines. Thank you very much. That's our distinguished panel, ladies and gentlemen. Now we are going to have them make certain presentations. I don't know whether the tech team is okay now. Please don't mind them. They're going to make a few movements, yes? Yes. So I'm giving you 5 minutes to just step out and network a bit and come back with your food. I insist you take this food. When I was 16 years old, if I may give you a joke, there used to be a program on TV called H2O. I think it was Sheraton, right? And it was my dream to eat the wombo at Sheraton. So on my 16th birthday, when my parents asked me what I wanted, I said I want the wombo from Sheraton. Unfortunately, I had never eaten the wombo. It was the most boring meal. But I'm telling you that at 4 points, Sheraton, I'm sure that the category is to die for. So please step out, give us 3 minutes, and then you come back for our panel. Thank you, ladies.
Smart 24, driving business.
My bossy, can I borrow fuel? Biggie money, can I borrow renty? Manager, give me some caloni. Okay, what about 5K?
When you need a loan, you've got MTN Momo. We're so tingy. Use the Momo app or dial *165*5# for all quick loans. Choose from the different loan options from our partners and get one that works for you. Together, we're unstoppable.
No other makes your meal so sweet and scrumptious. The taste of Uganda. The
Smart 24, driving business.
Oilseed production, and also I do varieties from the north, very specific about it, and my oilseed system, African knows in the things, and then the shea nuts. I like to take this opportunity to thank my dear sister, the president of UCCI, for inviting me once again to come and network with each one of you. My business is fairly traditional because Sim Sim and shea nut is a household name in the north, but it's an international product. So if you want to have a good skin, you want to have a strong, energetic lifestyle, don't miss to have those products in your menu. And let it also be your household product. Many people want to be brown. For me, I don't like it, unless I'm not brown like my sister, my president. But I love to be black, because it actually means black. And second, thank God that today I have one appreciation to make to URK, because they did something very good for me and for my community. I teach two very big cooperative society. Of course, one is becoming fun because we are no longer growing sugar cane, because the industry that is doing sugar cane in the north has got enough land for herself. So they don't really need outgrowers, but that doesn't mean the cooperative is staying. We are diversify ourselves. We are in for other products, like we are growing rice massively, and we are in for other grains. And then besides, chair, actually share cooperative society, and these two cooperatives have very many members, over 17,000. But I just find myself being among them. And I want national chambers of commerce to take over the meeting, because I'm in my afternoon time, almost going to my clinic. So you need to take over. What am I saying? You are did one thing, but I'm going to give them questions to answer. We were East African women in business donated for us a very big shea butter machine that we imported from Germany. And after a long struggle with Minister of Trade, Minister of Agriculture, and at one point I was with the commissioner here for customs here. I said to my son, when we were in a meeting, the very same meeting that my sister, the president of UCCI, called us at somewhere in Fairway, right? And when I talked about it, he took it up very fast. Little did I know I could be serviced very fast. And they waved down that spot, the machine. And 2 weeks ago, we have received the machine in our country. It makes me to say, you are ready. Start changing your tactics. Then you'll see English in tax base. Let me stop there. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Now I'll invite Mr. Kiza. Please introduce.
Just 1 minute, thank you. Sorry. My company is called Ramela Enterprise. My enterprise is based in Gulu, but I come from Omoro district, but I work mainly in Omoro district. Noya, I have members of the cooperative society. Thank you very much. I needed to clarify.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Rita. I'm called Kisa Manakas, and I represent the chairperson of the city. Thank you, Madam President, for giving me the opportunity to share with the members present here. Uganda Revenue Authority, we are privileged to work with you, and we are committed as the chamber to see that even at branch level, we will always engage you so that as you strive to increase the tax base, we also enlighten our business community on matters of tax. I want to quickly talk about my sector, which I represent. I am into ICT, but I also run another company called Real Task Logistics. ICT is one of the growing sectors in Uganda. From COVID period is when I joined ICT, because that's the time when we were forced to have our children study online, to change the education system from class to online. So I ventured into there thinking I was going to maybe become a billionaire very soon. But somehow one or two things happened. That's the time when government came up to ban the business that I had ventured into, those who were using computers. I did not give up, but I decided to learn to change, because now change had pushed us there. Quickly, what are the challenges we are going through? Because I cannot give you the history of ICT. You won't exhaust it because it is so wide.
One of us, we were doing introduction.
Okay. Then we go.
So let's hear from Mr. Brown.
Well, the Brown is my name. And I am enjoying 25 years of experience handling trade substances in research, baseline surveys, investment appraisal analysis, in e-tax services, and anything related to professionals in research that is in line with my skills and qualification. I'm a trained economist, and when I left the graduate school as early as 2000, I looked for jobs. Because of the low tax base, I couldn't fit my abilities. So I decided to create a consultants firm, for which I have had the opportunity to interface with so many taxpayers at the service level. I have had an extended opportunity to provide consulting services to the National Chamber of Commerce and Industry. And I have enjoyed interaction with Madam President, our critical leader, and my sister, the great practitioner, entrepreneur, and so many others. And the most important part of my life, I'm on a very patient. My friend, my Lord, and my Savior. I think that's enough. I'm married.
Give it a hand clap, please, in the house. Yes, thank you very much. We have a lot of Christians, but if we did an audit of how many people they are married to, we might be, in problems. There is, I want to apologize. We had Theatini. Is Madame Regina Navuga around? Is Madame Regina Navuga around? Please come and join us. Ladies and gentlemen, please clap for me as you forgive me for this. I don't think I was meant to be seated. Let me stand and do my work. Madame Regina, please join us on the panel. Give her a big hand clap. Theatini has been fighting for trade rights for a long time, and it's important that we have such advocates for trade, for international trade, for regional trade in the house. So Regina, I'll ask you to take a seat and introduce yourself. As you forgive me for making that error.
Actually, someone had clarified that was accurate. So,
sorry, it's okay. You need to be here.
All protocol observed. Dr. Regina, Labour Pursuit in Uganda.
I didn't fight for my rights, but that's okay. I do coordinate the financial development program that really looks at issues around tax, debt, and how we use our money to finance for development. I know we've been in this space with the Revenue Authority, already in the field, Ministry of Finance, and we are happy to be here.
Thank you. So today we're talking about, we're going to give our panelists an opportunity to discuss their experiences in interfacing with the taxation system in Uganda, and I needed them to explain their sectors and who they are so that we understand from which platform they're speaking. And I'm very glad to see that the people that are on stage today are very representative of the membership of the chamber. So I'll start again. I think I'll go to Mr. Kiza. What has your experience been both in the technology sector and as a member of the chamber? What are some of the challenges you're facing? But it's also good for us to applaud the good things that URA is doing, if any. I'm sure the commissioners need to hear that. And if you have these challenges and opportunities you want to hear and good things, please share them.
Thank you so much, moderator.
I'll give you 5 minutes.
5 minutes. Okay. Let me quickly talk about the 3 E's, where we have the education, the engagement, and the enforcement, because this is currently affecting us as a business. We are seeing URA shift from URA to UPDF to URA, where enforcement, the URA official is coming and standing back, and the UPDF official is approaching the business person. I'm not saying it in bad faith, but we want to look for ways of how do we continue having the good relationship that we have been enjoying with URA as opposed to the souring relationship that we are now having. Quickly, I will give you a scenario which, because we are representing the chamber, so we cut across what has happened in Barara, Arua. You know what happened in Arua. Now, where we are supposed to do education, because we need to know where I'm emerging from, where we are supposed to have education, engagement, and then we do less of education and the engagement, and then we run to enforcement, we are losing it out. And where URA goes in the field and chooses to enforce with unrealistic or unreasonable cost, to the extent that we are having people lose lives, we want to say no, let's change the approach. That is one. 2, I will quickly talk about prohibitions, those goods that are prohibited from entering the country. So the question is, if these goods are prohibited, but somehow they have entered the country and they are confiscated, the question is, how do they again find their way to the market? You get it? So they have been confiscated. Ideally, in the mind of a business person, I have lost because I was importing what is prohibited. But I find, again, my goods which were confiscated on market, what does that mean? And who brings them from where they were confiscated to the market? 3, we want to also ask our fellows that we are competing in the same business, but we have the impunity type of business operators, where someone will tell you those goods are for the general, those goods are for honorable ministry. We are all Ugandans. So how do we have this, is the tax body really in a manner that it is giving exemptions to a given group of Ugandans because they are generous? We all can't be in the army. We all can't be children of the ministers, but we are doing the same business. So how do we thrive in an environment where a certain business group is given impunity to trade without paying taxes, and another is paying taxes? and you expect us to do a win-win business. It's not hard enough. We have another question on counterfeits. When we talk about counterfeits, URA is telling us that they Uganda Bureau of Standards. Usually we confuse it with URSP, but it is Uganda Bureau of Standards. So when you ask a URA official, they are telling us that no, that one is under Uganda Bureau of Standards. And then when you ask Uganda Bureau of Standards, they are telling us that how does URA clear counterfeit goods and let them in the market so you can buy. Maybe let me tell you the implication or the multiplier effect of a counterfeit good. I will take a section of farming where you are both seedlings which are fake, but you found them on market certified by URSP. Uganda Revenue Authority has cleared them, so you buy. Honestly speaking, I'm going to plant, and then when you plant nothing generates. So at the end of the day, where do we go? As a business, where do we go? You can't blame URA. They are saying you blame Uganda Bureau of Standards. You can't blame Uganda Bureau of Standards. They are saying blame URA. So at the end of the day, a businessman is losing out like that. A farmer is losing out like that. So children of the farmer won't go to school. Children of, so many things are affected. So we are asking, where do we go? Who is allowing these goods on market? How do they come in? Who is this URA official? Who is? They are saying is clear in the news. Do they have a look at the goods for the display? And then on the issue of prohibited computers, we have where URA is not coming out there. They say for personal use, you are allowed to bring in. They don't even give the number. They say you are allowed to bring in 1 or 2 computers with you, but they are not very clear. One, I have an iPad. It's also classified as a computer. It is one piece. I have a laptop. It is one piece, and probably a desktop. And I'm coming into my country. There are 3, but one. So, what's the position of URA on the personal use at the point of entry? And 2, how about if I have multiple entries that I go today, and then next week, the other week? Do you have a system that tracks that? So far, Barnabas this month has traveled 4 times, and he has so far brought in 4 laptops. So we now cease to allow him from bringing in another laptop in the names of personal use. So we want to have a clarity on that. Then the other issue which you talked about, in 2023, in 2022-2023, that year, Uganda Revenue Authority collected 265 billion in form of taxes on used clothes. Now, someone was raising a question that you have a mechanism of raising taxes, but we also have a question of why are you allowing or not placing government from placing out the already known sources of income with a mindset that we have already told the government in writing that our manufacturers do not have the capacity to sustain the 40 million Ugandans plus in terms of garments. In fact, if you are to tell our manufacturers to produce to the tune of what we demand, it will take them 5 years, even more, to produce the garments that we use. Now, government rushes because we have people who are doing deals here and there. And they say, stop. Government does not engage as the business community to say, is it viable? Can we stop? If you look at the multiplier effect, how many women, if you go to the market, how many women are being sustained in the business of clothing? Just by virtue of seeing, don't count. Just on the road, how many women are dealing in clothing? Every shop, I'm into fashion one, but But now if we come up and close all over without plan, that where are these women going to be employed forever? Have we looked at it? Do we also consider that this government does not have jobs for most of our informal body notes that even those who started are on the street? And we're now fighting to see that the informal sector is registered, so that the informal sector is paying tax, and the government itself is coming up to kill what we are building as the business people. So how do we work? Because we want to look at three components. The taxpayer, we want to look at the tax collector, and then the utilizer of the taxes. Someone was asking, in fact, every business person is asking, is it viable for me to continue paying taxes? Whereas the business here pay taxes, pay taxes, pay taxes. If I can go to a hospital and I don't get medicine, if I can walk on board, if I can get government taxes, and I know someone is saying money has been swindled somewhere in the board. Money has been swindled somewhere. So the utilization of the money we are collecting is what the business community is demanding. Where is the accountability for the money that is collected and how is it expended? Now I have the
Thank you so much. You've talked about the challenges and you've raised some serious questions. I hope our commissioners are listening. Madam Santa, it took quite some time in the introduction, but I'm giving you 5 minutes to raise some of the challenges your people and maybe good things you want to talk about in your engagement with the taxman.
Thank you very much. Start with this I'm also born again because one. As a business partner, I believe that pastor, every human being on the face of the earth spends on activities. Agriculture is also life. You was telling us another figure. For me, I say, our GDP stands on agriculture. Whether by manufacturing or by direct production from the soil, we stand on agriculture. But then, I am from during the colonial times when I was born. I'm a product of agribusiness. And my parents and my grandparents used to pay tax without fear. And I want you are able. It was in those days with graduated tax. Now you have upgraded yourself to URA. You need to simplify that authority you have got. Every human being in Uganda here pay tax with fear. And what is the missing link here? In the context of Uganda, the question is, to me, as an agribusiness person, why is tax collection difficult? Why is it difficult? Because there is a missing link between the community and you. You have created a very tense atmosphere. You are and Muslim. And why is that? In those days, I see my grandfather, he was a cotton boy. When it comes to January and February, every human being from my case in the north, they know that's the time to pay tax. And every human being is engaged in looking for money. Why is it not done? You have great engagement between people and the community, especially with the activists. Why is that in activities and we are patrons? That's something that has gone wrong. Investigate. Done my president who have brought us here to speak to that thing. And I'm surprised to say the policy maker, I was a little politician in this sometime back. very little. But let me tell you, with policy, if the men and women have been recruited by government to grasp that, because they are with the community and technically, professionally, they know what should take place. And they are the ones to craft those papers and give them together to PS and give to the minister to take it to the house. And now we say, the policy you are not there. You are 100% part of that policy development. 100%. Because when planning and budgeting here from the village to the parliament, it is you who calls us for the budget program to tell you what we really know and what we really need. And it is you, Commissioner, who pays that down and gives the Minister of Finance to take it to Parliament. And now you are telling me you are not part of the government today. For our business community, we must pay tax, and they know if they don't pay tax, government will not come through. What has happened? How many people has happened? You know, this is not a we are very rich in potholes. And now you tell me to pay tax. Trust me, I will say no. Because I want to run on the smooth road. I want to carry my share butter from Kampala to Nairobi. And there are thousands of potholes. Yes, just say you are not attracting anybody. Say you collect tax for good stuff delivery. Go to the hospital, no medicine. All the good potholes are there. Now let me tell you, from Kulu, followed by my. But when you really so, my sister, I cannot carry my product from Latam to Bulutam. I can't. You find 200 vehicles on the road sitting like this, and my product is down. And you collect that to take away. No, I drive my way from Latam to that drive. I drive, and this is not, it's an open check. It's an open check. I buy my way through. And that man should have gone to your court. Please, something has gone wrong. And something is missing. For us in those days, my grandmother, January and February, don't pray that the tax. And when the tax enforcement officers come, they don't come the way you come today. You carry something big part of something it looks like a stick, which they put on the door, and they can open the stick. So, me, I'm here as an agricultural person, and let me commercialize my agriculture. But don't threaten me out of it. The fact of the matter is, something has gone wrong. To the old days. In conclusion, I want to say, I say there is missing link between tax manager and the Ministry of Agriculture and that very mother ministry, Ministry of Finance, up there. So, agribusiness needs to understand so that there is no fear in paying tax. Please, both parties think of developing a conducive environment for us to pay tax easily and not bribe when we are taking our products to the market. And the production cost, finally, is so high because of the tax, because of payment. I wonder whether to pay electricity pay tax. We don't pay tax. Yes, if they do, they expect it. I pay tax to the one I don't receive. Like we can have electricity once a week. For 1 week and 1 month. And like for me right now, when I came yesterday, when I left last night, my machine was there, no power, and I had sacks of share nuts and six to do meal. You have people in my machine. We like produce. But you won't stop coming to us for tax. I'm very disappointed in one way or the other. So what down. Find what is the problem between you and the community. Don't be teaching us about this. My son was there. Let us go to the country. For me, I can understand. For me, I know I am born to pay tax freely, fair, without fear. But now, my children know I should prepare money right away to save my brother. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mama Santa. I think you really spoken for the agribusiness community. I will now have the consultant say something. 5 minutes.
First of all, I'm triggered by the solution of the repentance. I'm sorry for what he said. Mr. Masini, in his opening remarks, he clearly says that there is more to do in tax implication. And I sorry agree with him. For us in service, we get information from taxpayers that you people benefits us. We work about you billing and easy. And so they are challenges. I have got challenges here, but they are top 18, they are communities. You see, in this country, because of the good political and economic management, we are now emerging from the situation where all the taxpayers, the bourgeoisie of the time of the 1970s, are slowly going down to the limit and being replaced by the formal educated class of taxpayers. I hope you know that. That's why my sister here clearly said that she's willing to pay tax. She's willing to do a voluntary tax assessment and then she will be national growth. Because she's informed, she's educated. I'm a man from Kawa. At one time in the 1970s, the biggest and most enterprise engagements were by the people who had never gone to school at all. And the media was encouraging with that. And then Kawa became power if some of you those who are of age. And the European politics from that time was looking at Kawa. We change it. But now, having a new brand of taxpayers coming on board, we are even heading to the challenge of the past, when we are trusted at the back of us. So, the government, which is very successful in this country, is now professionalizing the revenue tax collection, disregarding the fact that we are still having listings from the past where some taxpayers cannot complete tax application. If somebody says that you are in the taxpayers are encouraged to purchase, if this machine, if that sense, they are people who don't understand how to. They are people who cannot find on time. Let me give you this information. A businessman does not get motivated in employee taxes, not tax change. Because he thinks he's coming to make his trade money, and that's a lot of his profitability. And you are encouraging him to complete the higher standard of the tax change. Every day you say it will be the job and not attaining. But power doesn't want me about tax. So they are actually trying to understand for making tax payments, yet they are in midfield. That's why I agree with our head of tax education that there is more to be done in educating the masses. And somebody has said that I think that's that we should do. That upcountry company attains. Yes, they are doing what they have more knowledge about the tax implication. You may go there to can't pay anything because they don't have money to pay taxes. So, there are issues that taxpayers don't understand, especially in domestic tax services. Domestic tax services in not the customs tax. The customs tax, I think, because of the historical tradition, is well embraced and understood. I know you have got more than as good as system work. You have got some authorities very enough about the carbon monitoring system, which is also electronic application. But it is well understood for customs tax. But there is a problem with the domestic taxes. You are taking somebody who cannot add trust to get food, find income on time, on the list of how much he cannot understand what is double taxation. Let me give you this information. There are some taxpayers who watch and tell them that they are supposed to pay 5 VAT tax, 5 VAT regarding police employees. They will pay 30%, 30% income paying for profitability. And the man feels fatigued. He feels the burden because he does not understand that he succeeded and letting a people to manage his taxes. He says, I'm tired of it. Yesterday I paid the road tax. Somebody will not 6% on my surprise of station and my credit card which my mother told her. Now you are coming here for payers and land. And you want to file a bill to start. And now then they begin to cast the government. You know, we have been helping the government when we came to do your work. We should be such a class. Because we pay them, no, this is not composed. Now, national without a contribution shall have consumer service power. So now, for this meaning, patriotically told we see that most of the are you know, they are issues of VAT tax refund. It needs to be administrated immediately to taxpayers. Then there is the tax appeals tribunal, someone touched about it. This significance is quite important because there are people applying for ignorance, but they can settle their disputes with this mechanism that you are in place. And my brother presented explain other mechanisms in which you can settle disputes arising from the taxpayers' concerns. That is excellent. But some people are not aware that mechanism is there. You write the education program for taxpayers. My brother was there, is a government education service, tax education service. Please, why the education of tax services to cover the whole country? And I agree with you, sorry, that yes, there are some tax resources that are not tapped up country. They are not there. Let me tell you a simple one. A rich man is buying a property at 10 billion shillings. And he gets a simple commission and who's called a broker. And he says, I'm going to the tour and buy one condition that will give me 5%. Yeah? 5% commission of 10 billion. How much is that? 500 million? That is what I'm saying. The money will get it that you are with. And you are being supposed to tax from somebody in this nation. I know that there is not about because of the headed problem. You are a problem challenge for taxpayers who are taxpayers believe that tax collectors are, and I be modest, are corrupt. Even in the public arena, If I come to meet somebody in this one, you mean. Because they know you are a commissioner, you are so in comparison, that's enough. The education I am proposing is going to be that a tax collector has come to express the taxpayer. That's the very bad belief. How are you going to come to that? In community, implement customer psychological rating start killing they need it as there yesterday. People need to change mindsets about tax collectors. I'm reminding that my time is over, but I have advised a model called community tax saving in qualification model. It is equivalent of community policing model of Uganda police force. If my neighbor is uttering this word, I am free to call the police. Come and sit in this. But you never thought that. The other day we went to the structure and somebody ran after him and took the bag and has been one. That conduct will be the police. You can handle the business in the other of the member. I'm saying this model for the intra-tax policy model can be extended as far as the proper community. Besides that, Madam, you have countries. You have to make all very good businesses from rural areas. You need to go to the smaller businesses. Being effective, huge commodity distribution business centers in rural areas with turnover of 20 million per day.
Mr. Brown, I must begin this year. We have effectively set taxes on your side and evaded 5 minutes of taxation. So I would like to hear from CNTV. And now we're taking the picture from the micro, from the domestic, and we're looking at trade negotiations. And I think CNTV is one of the initiatives that came out when we realized that LDCs like ours are not negotiating well when it comes to outside markets, when it comes to trade protocols. Now we have the East African Common Market Protocol. We're told by the Commissioner of Customs that there's a lot of these taxes that are, we have been dealing with. I just want to sort of contextualize our questions. We've been dealing with non-tariff barriers that really affect tax and everything else. We've also been dealing with tax regimes in the region that are not equitable. And at the same time, we have problems of, I was just discussing with the commissioner. I had the opportunity to sit next to him, and I was just telling him that while you are taxing every little bottle of mineral water that a local person is manufacturing, someone is importing mineral water or something, and nobody is taxing that. So we have this unequitable, I don't know, that's what I should call it, tax regimes. And then as CNTV, what are some of the challenges you're seeing? And maybe from a policy advocacy perspective, what are some of the things that you would like the taxman in the room today to hear? Thank you.
Thank you very much. I knew that the summit meets both the taxman, woman, gender, and then the business community. So my proposals are to work both here, because I know in business, your interest is really about maximizing profits, right? And seeing that UNCCI is really about advocating for the interests of the business community. And for us, what we really are emphasizing your interests really should be genuine as a business community, right? Just like the panel said, they should be fair, equitable to everyone. One of them should not be tax cuts whatsoever, tax dodging, because we know you have the power. You have the power to employ, to use your services, to use her services, accountants, lawyers, right? But this should be done genuinely, because we know that if you don't pay your fair share of taxes, your neighbor, your mother, your grandmother are going to bear that burden in terms of paying and increasing taxes, right? That's what should be really clear. So, going back to your question, looking at the global landscape, we know that taxes are negotiated. All the rights are negotiated. And right now at the global level, we see that the OECD countries are not allowing, especially developing countries, right, for us to maximize our taxing rates. They've signed a number of double tax agreements, right, a number of policy proposals that they're proposing. There has been the proposal to have a global minimum tax rate from 30% to 15%. For us, that's the case what we are saying that that cannot be fair. It will come back to bite us. Because at the moment, we know that the effective tax rate companies pay at the moment is even lower. If we push at 15%, we are more with the 30%. Is that fair? At the global level, there have been negotiations around tax body, right? Because we know that the countries that are subscribed to America, UN, have the sovereign right to vote, as opposed to the OECD model, where it's only those who have power that can negotiate the taxing rates. There have been a number of proposals that have been put on the table, especially around taxing the digital economy, especially proposals around corporate income tax that we feel that are not in favor of the interests of African countries. Back to the ESG, we know that the ESG stories, I think we initially we are 3. How many are we at the moment? They are growing. Despite that, there are a number of issues that we have to address as a country. The non-tariff barriers in the region, we are moving towards the common currency. Recently, there was, I think, on Twitter, I saw that someone put their notes that we have currency that we can afford, which is not yet, we're not yet there. So for us, we are really advocating to ensure that there are no non-tariff barriers. We are harmonizing our taxes. Currently, we know that the DSTV countries are prioritizing working around harmonizing the income tax. The VAT rates are still low. Kenya is saying, why don't the other DSTV countries revise their VAT rates? Uganda is also looking at it as a revenue initiative. Really, they do not want to have more than 2%. What we are really recommending as DSTV is to ensure that in the ESG region, the continental level, we see fairness, right? And this ensures that companies are also paying their fair share of taxes. Right now, we know that there's been a certain debate on how Uganda has been removed from the red list. That was the Eco Trade Act. I think most of us noticed that Uganda was, when we got on that list of being on the red list. And here we are encouraging the business community that we need to know the beneficial owners, those people who are owning companies. You know, it's called uplifting the bank. Some of us hide into low entities. Yet at the moment, we know that a number of people who benefit, those who are supposed to be paying their taxes, are not paying it during. Coming up to the national level, maybe now to URA, we have this on an annual basis for us as a taxpayer alliance, and I know we have some federations in the room, some from the Federation of Small and Medium Enterprises that are represented here, as well as on the taxpayers alliance. On an annual basis for us, we review the tax laws to ensure that we close all the loopholes that are facilitating tax dodging as well as unfair tax. One of the proposals that we put forward to the table that we really think that sure we can think about the clarity limiting, clarifying the limits of discretion Commissioner General regarding the withholding tax exemption. At the moment, it's currently at 50 million, but we believe that some of the small scale businesses might not be able to tap into this provision. And we are seeing that the government is using this as a compliance information as opposed to ensuring that government really generates more revenue. And the other proposal that we also talked about the tax rebates for the advance to consumers that give another incentive compliance to e-invoicing solutions. This is a 5% VAT rebate for final consumers. You and I know that most of us don't spend 5 million on the article 33 days. You and I don't spend that 5 million 30 days, and yet this is used as a benchmark to give you a VAT rebate or refund. So we think that maybe we are proposing that the rate can be increased from 10% and also the fresh 5 million could be reduced to allow everyone to really continue in this function. So already on the digital stuff, we noted that this has been presented by the business community as presented by the financial budget. We think that maybe this can be reviewed about to see how the cost of business can be brought down. The creation of the tax ombudsman, where really people go to URA to talk about how they are buying their services, how this can be worked. This has not been, despite the fact that it was committed, Uganda committed to implementing the domestic revenue put it by the ending this year. This has not been put in place. So we are calling upon government to put in place. So you saw my colleagues have talked about tax appeals tribunal. We know that this is operating top-time basis. The number of years is only 3 years. Recommend this can be pushed to more 5 years, and ensure that we have permanent CBT and CBT tax. As I conclude, we are also looking at the fact that biodegradable products really we're looking at climate change. We are going about energy transition. How are we ensuring that we keep our environment safe? Now we know that it's biodegradable products and packaging material. We are calling upon government maybe to do zero rate of these products to ensure that these businesses or business communities benefit from this. We are encouraging the business community to work with the local governments. I know Mama Santa talked about who we are already most estimates to advance telling the benefits that we talked about globally. So we call upon governments to address some of those challenges. As I really now conclude, the thing that we talked about, the big thing in the room, where is that for? We have to work, URA has to work with all entities. UNDA, Ministry of Finance, the civil society. We have to continue fighting structured circles where we can come share our positions and also get people why they are not taking the road. But thank you for being with us. And I hope we can continue demanding for our accountability.
Thank you very much, our panelists. I was just looking at the issue, for instance, with ICT. Right now, globally, it contributes, according to the World Bank, it contributes about 15% of the global GDP. In China, it's at 15%. In Uganda, now it's at 9%. When you break down and you look at the income that's coming from the ICT sector, it's mostly in the imports, right? And yet, one of our, when you look at NDP3, UNDP3, we're talking about digitizing the economy. And digitizing the economy means that we need to subsidize, we need to ease access to digital tools. Right now, you are talking about different machines. The business community shouldn't have to buy them. It's a worthy investment. We should see how to reduce some of these things. And I think Mama Tata spoke to the power of an organ like URA to informing policy. Because when you look at China, the 15% of the GDP comes from manufacturing. comes from production or innovative things like the Facebooks of this world. Now the US is at 8, China is actually at 18%, the US is at 15%. But what I was trying to say is when you look at the income that comes from these innovations like Bitcoin, GPT, ChatGPT, etc., the things that the taxman is now struggling to tax, they're not taxing at source. They're taxing the final consumer, which makes it very difficult for, should I call ourselves LDCs? What do we call ourselves? Middle income? Okay, LDCs. So LDCs need support in order to increase digitization. These are the soft, these are the low-hanging fruit where we're actually going to increase widen our tax base, where the majority, Africa has the youngest population in the world. And by the way, Uganda has the youngest population in Africa. I mean, on average, currently, our average age is 15. Do you understand what that means? Over 50% of Uganda's young people are under. So we have very young population. And my 16-year-old is already tech savvy. He's already doing things on YouTube, on Instagram, on TikTok. The people that are doing businesses. Now, the taxman is very seriously thinking about how to tax websites on TikTok. Am I lying? But I should look at, if you're informing policy, 15% of the GDP, you might reduce it. Right now, it's contributing 9%. But I know for sure that it will go to over 15% with the young population that we have. If you want to find a way of incentivizing people like Mr. Kitsa here to actually equip every Ugandan with tools for digitization. We talked about education. Education also goes with equipment. And these are some of the policy things that are coming out of this conversation. We have policies like agriculture is supposed to be one of our biggest priority areas, but our tax policy goes in and out, it fluctuates. Today they're taxing agriculture inputs, tomorrow they're not. Every year a new tax is coming, and it's targeting the places where we could get the most income as a nation. So I think policy-wise, all our advocacy experts, I think we need to look into that. So I know that our panelists have spoken and they have more questions, but I wanted to allow our commissioners, if they have anything to say in response, or if you're taking this to note. Because some of them are serious questions, but I don't know whether you're going to answer them now. But do you have something for us? Would you like to say something? Yes. Please allow me to welcome our, today we said it's a baptism of fire, but they're here graciously, they have notebooks, and I believe these are listening people. Personally, I have engaged with Commissioner Abel, and he has sorted out my issue. But I think those issues need to continue, and I think let me raise this issue onto vehicles. You see, in Uganda, when you walk, and I also speak to the textile industry, one thing I've been proud of for a long time was that you cannot even find a beggar in Kampala streets or who doesn't have an outfit. And Ugandans are very stylish because of the Owinos of this world, right? Now, the second-hand market for vehicles had equipped all Ugandans. So there's a time we used to have the newest vehicles. And when I say newest, I mean on the African continent, because if you go to West Africa, you'll see cars of the year 1896, you know. But now where we are is that the taxman is telling you have to buy cars that are 8 years old or below, right? In order not to incur these certain taxes. And then you're saying the taxes for the new cars are also they're also astronomical. So you're making it impossible for an average vehicle right now. When we look at, the other day I met a parliamentarian and he told me how he is disgusted at how small the parliamentary allowance of 200 million is for a vehicle. for a vehicle, gentlemen and ladies. I have to raise this. Why? Because each personal vehicle costs 300 million. Because in this country, you can't buy a sensible vehicle for any less than 100 million. Am I lying? You can't get a new vehicle. But what does 100 million mean? The taxman knows how many people earn. Honestly, earn. I'm not talking about the bills as well. That's a whole other bracket, which is not taxed. But we need to have these conversations. So an average Ugandan, it says that on average, an average Ugandan now is like $300. What's our per capita? Around $250. This is a country where the average income is $250, and no one can purchase a car under 100 million. And now, when I come to Uganda with for many years, me and my husband used to import cars on our own because the brokers, these guys, they had 50% or they had 100% of the value. So, and then they take out all the tax. Am I lying? The integrity in this country. So then you're scared of the bonds. You go and import from Japan. You use trade card view, whatever. You come here and you are says, oh, your car which you bought at $1,000 actually costs $10,000. Do you see the tax you're going to pay? And because of the age, you're going to pay 80% of $10,000, which is $8,000, right? So you bought a hat at $1,000. So what I'm raising here is not to put our taxmen at gunpoint. They've been Commissioner Abdo, you allow me to raise this. There have been cases where courts have actually ruled in the favor of the Mutwa, but government of Uganda has actually just gone and said they are appealing, put a notice, and stayed execution, and not proceeded. I think this is denial of justice, honestly. I think that we need to think for our country. So if you're making it impossible to purchase vehicles, to import old vehicles, then you're making it impossible for me to buy the one from the board because the tax is astronomical. How are we ever going to meet middle income? How is Madame Santa going to... In Gulu, there was a silo. I told you I farm in Moya. I used to farm rice. I'm also, and they told us there was a big silo that was processing. There's a time we packed our rice as newcomers, the new kids on the block, and took it to Gulu to look for the silo. It was inoperable. I don't know if they're separating now. There were government silos, doing nothing. So then they gave us contractors. They gave tractors. And then what Mr. Kisa was talking about, the general will keep 5 tractors in his compound, they will rot. And the whole community has no access. Noya is one of the most lucrative farming land in Africa. I would say this. It is, who are studying agriculture is to say to mechanize, you need land, soil that has no stones, you need to have a flat gradient, you need to have, this is all there. If you talk about the Canadian prairies, we have them in Moya, but nobody except the foreigners who have the capacity are able to farm to the extent that could really utilize its resources. And I'm thinking that with policy makers here, with the business sector here, and I have to say that chamber members, you have a big voice. And this is Excellency has set a standard. He listens to the business community. Let's articulate these issues. Today we've said many things. We're going to communicate them. Madam Commissioner, Mr. Commissioner, we're going to document what we've gotten today and we'll communicate them. But this will be our request that if you need us in the room to do advocacy, we will come. But we need you to also think for us. Much as you're getting income from this vehicle, if I told Commissioner that, there are people who are offering me, they're saying, Fiona, give me some money, I will cut the tax of that car. So when we squeeze people, Mama Santa was again, that's paying bribes. Do we understand? So we need to look at more than just the relationship between the tax and the taxes, but we need to look at ourselves as a country that is trying to thrive to certain places. And that means that it's going to call us, even as our institutions like you, are to thrive beyond our own needs, to look at the needs of the macroeconomy. So, with all that preaching, I want to invite Madam Commissioner to give some remarks. Okay, in order to conclude, I've been advised by my boss that let's have 5 questions from the audience. I know you're burning, so that by the time the commissioner comes here, there is a summary. We just wrap it up. Thank you. Can I just first? Yes. Do we have another mic? It's not here. Sorry. Denise, please help me. Please introduce yourself and then in. Can I have someone else? Tracy, please. So these ladies will be moving around. They are from another company.
Thank you so much. My name is Francis Kamine from the Federation of Small and Medium Enterprises. I have 2 issues. One, I want to thank you for the tax, for the waiver, the window waiver that we had towards the end of last year. As speaking from the SME point of view, this was a big move, especially to the taxpayers, SMEs that are paying tax. And I believe part of the 2.5 trillion shillings that was collected last year was because of that move by URA. However, we have a challenge. Yes, one of the challenges is that some SMEs still didn't manage to file and also pay in that period. The commissioner mentioned that we might have an extension of the waiver. Could you please expound more on that? We'd be eager to hear any extension of that line. The second issue is about the policy issue. Yes, Commissioner Abe said, of course, your policy implementers, not makers and formulators. But recently we were reviewing the performance of the National Development Plan 3, which is coming to an end very soon. And it was observed that only 17% of the expected of the expectations were achieved. And this was partly, besides the COVID-19 and the shocks, because of the tax burden to the private sector. Of course, it's a big challenge, but now we are in, government is in the process of formulating LDP4. We see URA, most of these government agencies and institutions taking measures so that we can have better performance under the LDP4, unlike what is happening.
Thank you. Another question. There's a lady in the front. Okay. Introduce yourself.
Thank you.
Let's keep the questions short.
Okay. Thank you. I'm Paul Helena. I work for Quality Education Consultants Limited. My concern is about the rental tax. I happen to have some experience with it. Actually, my sister, I don't know the processes and the procedures that the URA is using to get this tax in. She had the house under construction, and she was called to URA that she has not been paying the rental tax. This is a house that is in construction. It's not even finished. And they were threatening her. So she walks in there and asked the lady, was the lady in jail that was calling her for the last 2 weeks, threatening her. So she goes there and says, let's go to my site and see. I haven't even got for this house. So how do you do that assessment? Do you go to the ground? Do you do the mammography? How do you get it? Thank you.
Thank you very much.
My name is Lucy, and I'm coming from the renewable sector. Yes, we talked so much about our business, but there is a very strong connection with renewable energy. In some areas, we hear some things, some technologies that are coming tax-free. Other technologies may not come in, but we actually never get to know which is the truth until we feed customers. Where is renewable energy in this whole transition issues, especially the renewable energy, which has a very close connection with agriculture, that is in biogas production. Then the other one is, again, with someone was talking about vehicles. Agriculture, we need vehicles. And we don't just need machete vehicles, but we need really strong, high-quality vehicles. Recently, there was a call on doing vehicles, used vehicles, which some of you are very familiar. And we were very excited when we were told, you farmers, go and negotiate. The price is, we didn't know the price until it was it's an auction method. But we were warned that, you know what, we're going to buy a vehicle with a seat plate. You processing that and hearing the taxes that this vehicle has spent, or the yard has spent in this country, will be much more than what you've bought. So, what do? I can't buy a new hard-body Land Cruiser. A new hard-body Land Cruiser, which can do for me work up to the BDBD cooperative, up to down in Kisoro, up to Gardena, wherever I want to go, will cost me more than 500 million. And we are just a young family of close starting. How do we do that? So I mean, it's coming back. There is people always going to be vehicles to the hard more functional fuel. How can they be the most? There's nothing like in tourism. You buy any red plate number vehicle, you're in trouble with that. Because you have, at one time, you have to pay through the nose. So again, in the Kenya, you find that similar interventions, similar vehicles, with speeds like the cheaper. Not forgetting that we are masters of potholes. You're driving a new car, a nice new car, within 6 months, all the home. All of them. You're going back to the garage and you're putting counterbalance. How do we put this whole equation together? Thank you.
Wow, okay. 3 more. Happy to see that they're ladies. They're not gentlemen. Okay.
When we want to present here with the sector, and my concern is what to Mr. Mosi. Actually, there is a challenge that I have, and I wanted to report it. Somebody registered his business using my phone number and the TIN number. When I came to realize, and I reported it to you, but I did not get them clarity why. I wrote to them, but by reply they just do that, we have sorted this. So this the issue that happened to me, it might even happen to other people. So this is also an alert to people who are operating business. There might be something going on, but on your phone numbers, but when you are not aware. Therefore, I'm also, I wanted to find proof I'm more safe with that side. Somebody using a TV number, my phone number, I was not even given a written notice about that safety.
Short data is very important. We have read e-technology and e-tax, yes.
Hello, my name is Miraj. I am from Unique Engineering Solution. My question is about after filing the return, the accumulation of the interest. Is it about the net payment, and what is net payment? Also, is the time we file the payee return and try to utilize the tax credits, But when we utilized, like the amount that we took off, we received communication from URA to pay that money that we had reduced. So when do we utilize the tax credits? Continue.
Thank you. Okay, I think we're going to have one last one here in the front. Sorry. Oh, yes.
All right, thanks a lot. Good afternoon. My name is Romeo Basil. I'm from Home International Limited. Now, I'm in consultancy as part of our service programs. And with that, as one panel is stated, first we have much information with the clients, with manufacturers. Now, my question goes to Commissioner. Really, we're having a series of manufacturers in the military sector, and what happened was a few years ago, you said to introduce those little terms and that LED tax reports, which hits the military sector so hard. This covers fresh beverages, including kombuchas and all that. And how we say this, that I witnessed over 100 SMEs collapse because of that. Over 100. And I'm very well sure that I'm not the only one who has observed that, but all of us here, we have observed that. Many of these industries are falling, they are continuously falling. In all the countries that are coming here, they are falling because of those tax reforms. In my view, those reforms were real tough, but this system is right to consider. This system is right to consider, and for that reason, many of those are falling off. The same thing is happening in the textile industry, and the same thing is happening with this other aspect called increase. Right now, an SME, food supply, the supermarkets, you need increase. They'll say you just have an increase and all that. Now, if you are preserved, it means you can't access the increase system. That means that as an SME, you are trying to supply those supermarkets and those things suppliers, which is actually hidden in the SME's growth and all that. I submit to that.
Thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, okay, one last one.
Okay, my name is Jeff. We're working from Christian Ice. And my concern is the unfair, levying of taxes. Actually, penalties by URA was about 6 million shillings on a receipt of just 11,000 shillings. And for me, that's very, very unfair because it's because of the turnaround time of URA. They want to actualize in 24 hours. They want you to actualize in 1 day. And if the assist is 24 or 48 hours. So that person who sits and Bollywood and sends a penalty of 6 million, the next day 6 million shillings, and you have 12 million shillings within a week, for me, I find it very unfair. And the bad thing is that they send a courier, DHL, to bring a letter to you. No one to explain why. You are being charged. So, QRA and the others, can you better that? So the business analysts can come and explain why. Then we get to understand each other now to solve the mysteries.
Thank you. Okay, one last lady here in the front has been from the beginning, so we have an exception.
Thank you so much. My name is Nancy Menalis from El Shaddai Finance. And thank you for the opportunity. Maybe straight to URA. On behalf of the women, can you please put an department for women? We are looking at global, before you even go international, we want to, like ordinary Ugandan woman, somebody who is in the business, someone who doesn't know where to start from. You are telling me to buy increase of 1.1 million, but my capital is 1 million. And yet I am willing to pay the taxes. I even want to know how do I pay the taxes. So before you come up with all these tax reforms that are changing annually, and you're not even educating me on how to adopt, how do I even learn? And if you keep changing the tax regime, then, and you're not updating me who is supposed to pay the tax, then are you actually favoring me to remain in business? So we don't have very many women who are up there. Most of us are average and below. So can you begin with us and why did the taxes? Because we are the ones who have the money. We are the ones who are going to pay. Those big ones get tax exemptions. We don't get them.
We don't get that sense. I think we have small businesses. We also want to grow and become big someday and increase that tax base. So please, we want a department for women in URA to educate us. Thank you.
Thank you very much. To add to what you're saying, the facts show that of our 70-something% informal sector, all of them almost 90% of them are women, and women actually contribute about 59% of all our GDP from agriculture. They contribute about 55% of all our GDP from manufacturing, which shocked me. So I think that's something to think about. I'm very happy that the questions are really, really policy related. But I want to encourage you, there is a young lady seated outside in a URA t-shirt. She's going to answer all your personal questions, but also put down her questions. Our member there, Mariette, if you could come out and wave, she'll get all those questions and you've left all your details. We'll email you the responses that we get from URA. Madam Oli? Chair wants to say something.
I'm not talking about the president, I'm talking about the business. And I want to emphasize what the gentleman talked about SMEs failing in the infancy. And this is, of course, an opportunity to not speaking to each other. Into manufacturing things. There is now emphasis on authority assurance, which is high. So if you have, for example, I was doing some manufacturing, doing skincare. First of all, you have to get the formulations done. You get approved by the DSTV, the QMAC, and every bottle or every formulation you get, if you have this vanilla, shea butter, what, you pay a fee for each of those 12 years, each product, before you even start working. So they take all the testing for a fee. Sometimes if they don't pass, you have to pay again. So that is eating into your cabbage. Time comes when you manufacture and you have your products on the market, on the shelf. Within a month, you are getting the need. How are we going to do that? And by talking about the specification, that's why he said most of our manufacturing industries, especially in the industry, are dying and they continue to die unless these authorities speak to each other and actually hold hand, give this the holding hand. Otherwise, it's a problem.
And thank you so much. I actually hope that next time we'll have other organizations like URA in the house. Because when Uganda Investment Authority, we have problems with the definition of an investor when they become local, right? And they want to benefit from these investor incentives. We have some questions here about what tax holidays are given to our business. I think this will be answered later. It's some detailed questions. I would like now to invite our commissioner. Please give them a big,
Thank you so much. And President and the panelists and our dear taxpayer, it's a thank you for paying your taxes. Also paying your taxes. I wanted to start with the customs issue so that the acting commissioner general can come and conclude with the domestic taxes, the others. Most of them we have taken note and want to appreciate your input to this. And I hope my team has captured most of these issues so that we address them, especially where they are guiding on policy issues. Issues that we can take up to change the way we do collection of taxes. I wanted to start with the panelists. The enforcement the engagement, the education. So it's like you are starting with enforcement, instead of starting with educating, engaging. For the past 4 years, my Commissioner General had come starting with we emphasize more of engagement and education before we enforce. We have seen it work for us because it has built a relationship between us and the taxpayer. And like before, we are a bit closer. That's why we are here. Critique us, go back and do this. That was not happening in the past. So we do more engagement. That's why I want to appreciate the National Chamber of Commerce for arranging these engagements. We realize that taxation, even when they are presenting, some of you are doing everything that is presented. There's a bit of more work being done, making sure, especially the informal sector, appreciate what we're doing in taxation. Now, what happened in West Nile was actually specific in West Nile. There are isolated incidents that can happen when you are doing this job. Of course, you cannot go to do work, say, I should not carry along some people not with us. I think that incident involved motorcycles, no numberless motorcycles. And in the process of impounding them because they were not registered and they were not paying taxes, they knew, of course. And they mobilized the young people and the youth came and started stoning our personnel. The people were escorting them. Unfortunately, we lost the life, others were injured, but it's not our approach that we should shoot or do this. The Commissioner General himself, Minister of Finance, General Duty, went there and met the community and engaged them. And of course, there are some conversations which were done, but this was isolated incidents. It's not a URL voice. Or a stone, so you have close. You want to get out of that. You want to get out of that, it does not work for us. It does not work for us. But I want to inform you that there is where this. If you work in customs and you are the border, and you've been telling these people, you smuggled yesterday, you smuggled the next day, they thought, what other approach can I use? Is there engagement here? There. You're doing it deliberately. They are not chosen for us. Our mission is to evade. If you catch us, well and good. Now that enforcement should come at the tail end, going to done engagement and education. And I want to assure you that is where we're going. On the issue of the prohibited goods, how do they find their way to the market? They should not find their way to the market. In the market, there is corruption. The process is that when we found use computers, let me use the example of using computers, maybe through the airport, maybe through the borders. They are stored in what we call a customs warehouse. Get a certificate from the National Environmental Management Authority for destruction. And we do destruction of all prohibited goods. Now it's not only used computer, cigarettes, we have perishable goods which have expired, smuggled. No, they are not smuggled goods, not prohibited or banned. So we do destruction in gazetted places which is by everyone. So if they really went and found your computer on the market, which we found, then we need to bring to book the people who are involved with that process. Because NEMA is there, URL is there, UNBS is there, so we look at all government agencies concerned with those products that participate in the destruction of the prohibited goods. But we also need to do a lot of tax education to the people. Why should we wait for them to reach Uganda? Why should we wait for them to reach the airport? Let's inform the people count sending them that these are prohibited, not wanted in Ghana. That's an area we are working for. For the iPads, they are not prohibited because the iPad is like a phone. It's only the used computers that we don't want because we think we have removed the taxes on the use of computers. So let's encourage our students, or whoever wants to use computers, to buy. Instead of bringing us, because the computer, a used computer has a license. The person who sends it to us has used it, he's tired of it, wants to buy another model, and then they say Uganda is receiving. We are saying this at least on policy level, remove taxes, so that Uganda can buy these computers which are new cheaply. Taxation should be fair. I agree. It should be fair and should be cut across. Exemption should be fair to all. CDT, you talk about this. In my view, no one has stopped you from going into the industrial park and you enjoy exemptions. No one has stopped you from starting up a manufacturing plant and you enjoy duty remission. There are even rates for exemption for national and foreigners. Different. If you look at our incentive guide, it is there. Put it on your table. So it is there for every Uganda. And I don't think we've tried to make sure that it's fair for everyone, not kind of for a few individuals. There was a question on counterfeits. What we are doing quickly, you are a SP registered as a brand. If it is Gucci, it is, I don't know what that Gucci, whatever brand, the originals, those who put on those brands. But we've been having a challenge when we intercept these counterfeits. We intercept them, okay. Who is the brand owner? Brand owner is in Seattle, in UK, London. We need you in court to testify that this is your brand. You know what? We just ignore. Then we are stuck with counterfeits. Then you are saying, who is which mandate is this? You are UNP, UNPS. Check the standard for you registering a brand. Tell us where you registered this brand. And in the process, we've been trying to empower whatever we found the responsible agency handles. Now, how counterfeits are in the market is another question that we need to ask. Because ideally, we should not be allowing them without certification by the standards people. Now, where it's been on medicaments, because they know if my child also takes the same medicine, then it will be a problem. I don't think we've been very serious on garments. These garments sometimes don't take long, especially these counterfeits. But it's an area we can look into and try to improve. On what is allowed, if you are coming with a used laptop, we allow you one laptop. Where should you have? We allow you, you've been there, you work, come with it, you pass. Where should you carry it? Where are you taking them? Used laptops. So we've not been allowing them, we've been impounding them because they are prohibited. Used clothing, it's a policy issue. Me, where I sit, still collecting tax on used clothing. You had the fountain of honor talk about it, at least I'm waiting for that directive to come. At the moment, I'm collecting more than actually 265 billion from the used clothing. But we also need to remember that, yes, we've not reached there, but there's some companies which have banned protection of used clothing. They are money. Neighbor here. Yes, not allowing used clothing. I don't think they are putting good. So there is a time where we should reach and say, we have built capacity to get out of this. Start also as a country to put on new clothes, especially when we build the capacity for manufacturing. on accountability for the money being collected. But I thought we were always there when they are announcing how they are going to spend the money. The road is this amount. This is health is this. This is this. Yes, I am not there, but at least they've been running a campaign at VRA because we collect and explain where your taxes have gone and how much we capture that. Though it's not our role. We've been focusing more on collection. You know, when you've been given a target of 29 trillion, you are struggling. Let me look for this 29. Then I leave my bosses to do their appropriation. And I thought the process is very clear how that money is done. Now the issue is the president and your team to be part of those engagements when they share the appropriation. But at least ERA is concentrating more on doing the collection, but we are also concerned where someone says both votes are many, but we usually don't go into the appropriation. Now the individual questions, the rest my Commissioner General will answer. To the specific questions that came, that part related to customs was on the women traders facilitation. We have advised to have a women's department. We don't have it. We think about it. But in terms of facilitation of women across the border to trade, I think is that GRA has done a lot. You go to Malaba and Busia and Ilebu, and Pondwe and Mutukula and Katuna at those borders. Every one-stop border post which has been constructed has a warehouse to cater for their fresh trade and put it in the cooler for their fresh trade, free of charge. We have also done a simplified trade regime. Now, until men started saying, why do you call it women traders facilitation? We are also cross-border traders. So we have now changed the name from women in cross-border traders to cross-border traders. So that the men are also getting. You want to say, we can't put in the free. For you, hey, but we are also going to the same market. And for those gender issues, but we manage at the border and we've given them offices. The leadership of the women at those borders have an office, a boardroom. So they see, real their issues, raise their issues, and I think we are trying to improve that area. There's a lot of support to the women for border trade. What they are suggesting is that at now management level, how we can streamline this. Most of the other questions we are from our information and general to address. I want to ask her to come in. I want to thank you, the family, for the insight. Most of the issues will take a note. But there is one the moderator brought, which is city drinking on motor vehicles. Whether I answer it properly. Then those days, if you have a car older than 9 years, pay environmental levy. Because you are bringing a car which is going to pollute the environment. It is old. So Uganda is encouraging people to pay to buy cars which are below 9 years. So if you choose to buy an older car, because that's what you afford, even if you have something older than 9 years, I pay environmental levy to protect the environment because I don't pollute the Ugandan environment. And
established rates.
Yeah, I will come to that also. So that is one issue. So some people pay the tax surcharge for you coming to destroy the environment. So there's something you pay. Then we have, this is the used car. You bought it from Japan. You don't know which factory it was manufactured from. You just went on the streets, so in the Chibanda or Mart in Japan, brought the car here. So we asked, okay, what was the invoice for this car when it was new? I don't know. Yeah, I just bought, this is how much they gave me, $5,000, $1,000, $2,000. So was that transaction value? Yeah, that's how I bought it. But it is when the car was new. So we got the database for Toyota. They gave us. You know what cars are Toyota? Suzuki. What Japan now have to work with relationship. They want me to establish that the UK vehicles. We put them there. We said, sir, madam, your car was $50,000 US when it was new. Now you bought it from Japan at $5,000. Transaction value means that it is the price actually paid or paid. So you depreciate. So when you depreciate, you have what you call a value guideline. That's why if one going through this detail. Then you have a value guideline which is there. We show you when it was new. This is now how it is worth. Now those people when we show the bill, come to pay using the old equal value. Because that's what they wanted in the report. He said, this is how your Toyota was manufactured. Are you able to pay at this or using this 5,000, 6,000 we have? Not, I'm still waiting. But they won in court. We are waiting for them to pay more taxes. Because when they use what we have, they pay less tax. And we agreed that we continue the way we are doing till maybe they convince the Japanese to reduce the price for their new cars. I submit. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Just thank everyone and specifically the President and the parents. Thank you so much. What I can say is that as you are in, this feedback is very important because we keep improving. There is a lot of room for improvement, definitely. Even when you are selling services as a business, you need feedback. Constructive feedback is very, very important. I will run through some, but those that we will take note will definitely respond back through our PCA team, back to the Secretariat and the Chamber. There have been issues of agriculture. We appreciate the role that agriculture plays in this country, employing a very big percentage of women and feeding our country. And government, in the same spirit, has so many exemptions in this sector. We have been grappling taxing, trying to create some taxes in this sector, but we don't succeed because even the political space, your MPs who made laws in parliament really want to protect the agricultural sector. So in agriculture, when you are in the agro-processing now, it's where the taxation will come. But even in agro-processing, there are exemptions in that area. For example, if you are in value addition agro-processing, we will give you a 10-year tax holiday. If your investment capital is $150,000, that is the investment capital. $150,000, what's the investment? It's not about 400. It's just now dollars over about 400 million. If the investment is outside Kampala, 50 kilometers outside Kampala, but if it is within Kampala, $300,000. That is for 6 cents. Now, 6 cents, according to the Act, will include also 6 cents in the East African community. I was watching the news yesterday, I saw Somalia joining, and you see now when you start saying this one's foreigners, you have to first ask yourself, is this 6 cents or not? Now the Somalis, you will not distinguish between one from Eritrea, one from, but those are things that immigration should help us. But
If it is a non-citizen, the investment capital is $10 million. So you can see the difference is huge. So this caters for all of us. Sometimes there is a gap in tax education. Otherwise, you can apply for this exemption and we will surely give you. We are now very, very supportive to our own Ugandans because many of the other non-citizens are already in this space of manufacturing benefiting. The other one is the digitalization. As you are a digitalization is part of a tool to support in enhancing tax compliance. So the digitalization doesn't segregate the small and micro taxpayers. Definitely, we appreciate the challenges that micro and small taxpayers face. Because you are there doing your business in downtown or in the villages, you even just have a button phone, you don't have a smartphone, but URL will require you to have an email, will require you to log into their website and apply for that team and then find the return. We are trying to improve on this through simplifying the processes, especially the forms. Now, for taxpayers who are in the resulting regime, whose turnover is between 10 million to 150 million per year, we allow them to find using just a PRN. Get a PRN which can be given by our people. That PRN is a form as well. So when you submit that PRN, it will be a form that is what you use to pay the tax. We are still improving on so many areas, but we now also have the instant which will help you get a team without having that email. We are trying to do a lot of listening so that even as we digitalize, we don't leave some part of our tax-paying team or tax-paying clients outside. Because remember, we want everyone to pay that fair share of the tax. So there are so many businesses in rural areas. Yes, we are going there. Although it is tough, they also do a lot of struggling there. Because of the porous borders, they are selling goods with very good margins. They have not paid customs taxes. We are working on this. There is really a lot of work. Together with the MDS, hope to improve on this. Rebates as incentives. We have a rebate for e-receipts. If you can ask people, if you go to that supermarket or hardware shop and you ask for an increased invoice or an electronic invoice, what we call an e-receipt, there are rebates which shall give you 5% of the tax that is for that invoice. And so we want our people to clear. Be even aware when you are paying tax that are not able to pay this tax. But when they give you a manual receipt, just know you have not served your country with paying tax yet. We must be supported in policing all this. The other one is to reduce to zero rate. I think I didn't read this one very well. There was also creating an office, an equivalent. Yes. Yeah. Zero rate based standard mark. That one we can actually we can look into it as a policy issue. But what we are also doing is to negotiate the contract that we signed with the CIPA, the company that gives us stamps, is supposed to reduce the unit price of the stamp is supposed to reduce as the number of taxpayers go up who are registered for these digital tax stamps. So recently we are looking at especially the alcoholic beverages and we are negotiating. We negotiated last year for 2 years, so this is also going to help us. We also consider the zero rate inflation. Let's take note of this. The year rate inflation, let's take note of this. This is very important. And then there was something on creating the equivalent to the IGT tax, where taxpayers work. This is in South Africa, and it's good because there then you look like you can go to a neutral area. We also have an appeal office and an objections office. But you see, this is still your you want somewhere where there is a neutral ground where you can go to other church. Yeah, so it is something which is very good and healthy. We will see how best discuss what is. Working with stakeholders, the other MDs. Last week we were in a workshop in Union, and it was chaired by the PSS team, the Ministry of Finance team, and many MPs, all of them, who were discussing how to work together and how to harmonize some of the taxes. There is a question here on ground rent, on property rent, on rental tax, and how all this is being collected in the same profit. So we're saying how best can we have one tax so that we don't confuse our taxpayers, our citizens. So that is something that we are discussing. It's a research paper which is being done by local government. We have been getting so many complaints. When we go to ask for rental tax, the taxpayer gives you a receipt of KCCL for property rent. So when you say this is different, they do not appreciate. Then somebody asked from a bank, are you aware that circles are beating the banks in borrowing? They are circles, they are money lenders. We are aware that regulation in this country still requires a lot of work, and it's not only regulation in this space, but everywhere. Even as we want the business is regulated, so that we can collect tax. Again, that was another talking point, an actual point in that seminar that we had last week. And we will track the action points. So the next financial year, we should be having something that we can. Then there was a question of how tax is demanded before even business reacts. Income tax is paid for a year of income. And we will give you at least 6 months. If you think there is profit, you pay some interest. After 12 months, you can also pay another interest. But where there is no profit, you will pay in return. That's okay. But for taxes like VAT, we first give you a grace period to track your sales. When the sales reach a certain volume, usually we don't register enough for VAT. Your gross sales should be 150 million per year or 37.5 per 3 months. So now once we track that, then that money has to come and we put it there following month. It's a monthly tax. VAT is monthly, withholding tax is monthly, also pay as tax monthly. Of course, initially, especially for VAT, it gives a cash flow straight for especially the SMEs. But in the long run, as you said, you keep collecting and paying tax as others also take long to pay. But we really appreciate that, and it's an area also to look at in terms of policy. But there is a window for cash based on account of VAT. If your turnover is 500 million per annum, you can choose cash basis. Cash basis is where I will only pay VAT if the customer is paid. If they have not paid, then I won't pay. So that one solves you from a cash flow perspective. The policymakers understand that if your turnover is more than 500 million, then you should be able to pick up. I am being warned all the time, there is something on section 40 of tax framework, we are following up on that. We realize many taxpayers are not able to benefit because we also had issues with our IT system. It took long for us to update our ledgers. So we are discussing. Hopefully something comes up. Just watch the space, but we are working on that. So what would we advise our taxpayers? You could first be paid the principal tax as you wait. because it's not happening. Both the earlier you pay the principal tax, the other will not, the interest will not keep accumulating. There are a number of other issues, but maybe you would allow me to say that we should come back on this and from a policy perspective, including even your questions, penal taxes increase of 6 million. We will have all this recorded and then come back to you to do the secretary. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Madam Commissioner. Thank you so much, URA, for giving us this time for honoring the private sector who intend to be a bigger taxpayer in the future if we enable them to do their business. So, ladies and gentlemen, I know time is fast spent. We're going to have a just a goodbye note from our panelists. We can't just chase them away without them saying bye to us. Then we're going to have a group photo. So please appear in our group photo. And then we shall be dismissed. Thank you so much. Can you clap for yourselves for being patient? Our panelists, thank you so much. I know you had burning issues and you had a lot. But today I want to thank you because you've shown us that you're really experts in your area. And I think you are taking a lot of notes for policy backing. But you are, we also want to say that these are our people. If you need them to sit at the table and rehash this for policy purposes, we can have more people in the audience. You can always arrange more meetings like this. So ladies and gentlemen, please, 30 seconds, just say bye to your audience or to your one last parting shot. 30 seconds, let's practice integrity.
Thank you so much, the audience, for listening to us. I also want to thank you are for honor and respect this gathering. We hope to engage more and more.
Thank you very, very much. I want to thank this opportunity. Thank my sister and president. Thank you all the audience. And I want to thank you, RA. But DSTV, we have one issue. It's that we didn't have time. I should have asked you. The one I gave is that SACCOs and DSFA is taking over banking. So I don't know where they're going to be. Thank you very much. God bless everyone.
Thank you very much. Let us pray. For this great opportunity. I still believe that widening tax implication is a good issue that should be addressed by government, and also working for harmonious relationship with taxpayers is a good issue in that direction. Because we still have potential tax resources and thank you very much.
Thank you for inviting CITV. Thank you for your questions. Thank you for your participation. Remember, we have a right to pay taxes. We have a right to demand accountability. Let us think big. Let us go beyond Uganda, monitor what is happening at the regional level, international level, let's engage actively. Thank you.
Thank you so much, our panelists. Give them a big hand clap. I would like to invite our member, Ajahn Nuriat Sanuwande from Afroseed Trading Company, to give us a vote of thanks as you, as members, prepare themselves for which we will have over there. Please welcome Ajahn.
Thank you. And the President, the National Chamber of Commerce, members of the board, President, the representatives of the Commissioner, the please are there. Okay, and the entire team, our sponsors that have made us to be here. Ladies and gentlemen, fellow business members and members of the National Chamber of Commerce, good afternoon. I'm really honored to talk last about what last have said. I hope I will. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, mine is really a simple job. A simple job to thank the team that has been here with us today and the organizers of this interaction. Sincerely, I think we need more engagements. We need more engagement with the taxpayers. We need more engagement with the other service units that facilitate our businesses. Yes, we invest and we want to earn profits, but we not earn profits when we are not at par with the tax body. You are not part with the URSD. You've not registered your company, and all the other facilitating needs. So such interactions are very important for us, and I really want to thank the Ghana National Chamber of Commerce. I'll give you a story and how I had to learn about this segment. We have a forum, the Chamber of Commerce, where the people has been entrepreneurs. And I was busy shouting about URA asking me to pay tax on properties. The friend sent me from Ghana. Properties. The tax officer didn't know about the Ghana cities. He was asking, what is this currency? So I had to cover it. What? These are Ghana cities. And then she was saying, you have to pay. These are four. This is the amount in dollars. You need to know about the cities. You're telling me this is. Yeah? This amount of dollars. I'm not sure whether you will really understand what I'm saying, but I don't think I have to pay. These are presidents. This is Christmas. Somebody just told me this. So we had to come to meeting, but finally we had to come to terms and Shan let me go. But suppose I was a little bit bad. At least I tried to explain and stood my case. These were all clothes that were really fitting me, and I thought, these are things that fit me. I'm not going to sell, and I want to eat. So finally, we have meeting, and she accepted, but I had to share my experience with the colleagues of the forum, and Madame told us, oh, we are going to engage with you and it has come to reality, and I'm really happy and excited. So ladies and gentlemen, I believe everyone has done something. For me, my takeaway is the remission. I didn't know about the duty remissions. And sincerely, with someone, you go and somebody charges 57 agents. They will tell you, and you pay money you don't pay no, whether it's switching URL or not. Sometimes they don't even give you the exact president. This is what your needs you go. When they didn't pay that for you being charged. So I think we really need more of this. And I'm hoping that will not be at the tax people, as the board member said, that we fear you. So when you come out and at least explain, we really want, we're really very happy. And Madam Hafta has a lot of, I think, kudos in terms of educating. So ladies and gentlemen, the presentation of events, we talked about advocacy, and I think these are some of the advocacy forums. And when invited, at least supporting coming. And on the final note, I want to say that I don't see the why I should not be paying my membership. I'm not the one that the photos for us to are getting value of the work. In the area, there are a lot of opportunities. The chamber as well is telling us, opening us opportunities. Because I think in April there is German and others. So for us at chamber, at least we are benefiting and we are happy. And with those few words, I wanted to ask, and I didn't get the microphone. Since I have it, you are for me, I don't even have, I'm not going to do this thing. I don't even have a passport rate. But I didn't get the message. Pay your rent to tax. You become like what? Cases here. You are in your home and asking you for ground rent. Now you want to get rent, whatever. How does that come about? I don't have it. But they tell I to your vehicle because I got to pay. I did, but it's an inconvenience. Yeah. So with those very, very many words, I really want to wish everyone the afternoon and certainly as we go back. Thank you very much.
is to invite us in front of the photo moment as the camera main and then delivery. So, members, camera ready for ready can organize the setup. We are basically done. I just have one final suggestion. This has shown us that we need to have more of this. More of this, I'm sure Chief is ready for it. And so you can move us like some minutes. So, the part that be, let us please act accordingly. And for God and my country, we have to knowledge situation. Someone was the original copy. So please, on your way, I'll check on the.
Smart 24, driving business.
The Turkish real estate firm VALO Real Estate has entered the Ugandan market with its flagship housing project dubbed Sadenza